there we go. Come on, buddy. Come on, Moby. He thinks he's 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Oh, you're not that big. Come on. All right. That's what we're trying to catch, a few bass like that. Yeah. There you have it right there. That's a beautiful bass. Folks, today we are at Roosevelt Lake, post-spawn. And wow, beautiful fish. We'll let it go. But yeah, post-spawn today. And what I'm doing is covering a little bit of water with one of my favorite tools. And it's a little swim bait. And it's real fun to throw, a little paddle tail. And it's called the Little Dipper. And I put it on a 2/0, or you can put it on a 2/0 or a 3/0. I prefer the 2/0, wide gap hook. And we're just rigging it where it's weedless. Just kind of sticking it up there like so. Throwing it out on a 10-pound test, fluorocarbon leader with 20-pound smackdown braid line. And I'm throwing my swim bait rod from Taipan, 710 medium action rod. And man, this thing is a blast. And the reason why you need the longer rod is so you can throw this weightless gizmo out there a long way. So it really helps. And I don't have to whip it that hard. I just kind of take and throw it out there and do like so. And what I'm doing, the trick to this is keeping it just really barely under the water and reeling it real slow. I said I reeled it slow, but I'm not reeling it slow. I'm reeling it fast, but I'm bringing it down, my rod tip down, so I can keep the bait under the water, and I'm kind of waking it. And you can see how I'm reeling my reel. And instead of slow rolling it, you can slow roll these baits, you really can, and catch a lot of fish on them. But I like it when they're chasing the shad, and it's that lone shad that got away and it's trying to run from the wolf pack or the fish, and for some reason it triggers a strike. If I was reeling it slow, they'd get a good look at it, may not bite it, but they don't have much of a choice. When they see this thing running off, they don't get a chance to really look at it. It's a fun bait to throw, it really is, but you gotta learn how to throw this bait. I've seen so many people, and I've done guide trips where they take and they reel it slow, and they'll catch a few fish on it. But to get it to work the way you want it to, you gotta keep it just subsurface, just right under the water. Kind of make the tail almost wake, but you don't wanna buzz it across the top. You know, you wanna keep it under the water where the tail makes that little V coming across the water there underneath, and you'll be fine. First fish of the day, we'll get started here, Roosevelt. We don't know what the day is gonna bring. We showed up and we're gonna see what these fish want. And what I love about this bait though is I can cover some water, take a peek, see what's going on, see what kind of activity is going on, and then go from there. Everybody has their fast bait that they like to throw. If the wind was blowing real hard, we'd probably be throwing spinner baits or crankbaits. The wind is non-existent right now pretty much. So this bait or a topwater bait would be the key. Oh, there's another one. Ah, little male. He just came up and smashed that bait. There's nothing more fun than to watch these fish just jump on that thing in this clear water. Come on, buddy. Get over here. Get over here. All right, come on. I'm gonna whale him up here. There we go. Nice little male bass. You could throw it. What I love about this bait too is you can throw this right over the brush tops. You'll see the brush that's just barely under the surface. They're hiding in that stuff. That's how they ambush their prey. So they'll get in this brush and just tick the tops of this thing or come across the top of a brush pile, and it's weedless. So you can bring it right through it. Boy, that makes for a lot of fun. A lot of fun. He came up and smashed it. Oh, there's one. There's one. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on, son. I love it when they come right up and just slurp it in like that. And that's where the tip on this rod really comes in handy, man. Look at that. You see that when they're fighting? Yeah. And that's another thing is when they get up there and inhale that bait, your tip will actually pull down like that and give you time to set the hook where you're not too early. Because if you see the bite a lot of times, if you see the bite, you have a tendency to set the hook too soon before they put it in their mouth or are able to turn around. Come on. Ah, yeah. There we go. What a fun way to fish right there. Boy, that's a little football right there, huh? Nice little football fish. Yeah, the most important thing you can do when you see the fish hit is be able to give it just a second for him to grab it and turn. If you see the blow up and you set the hook too soon, he won't have it in his mouth and he probably won't have his mouth closed, and it's hard to hook the fish that way. That's one of the reasons this taipan rod really works well for this technique. That's the third fish on this in about 5 minutes. We still get a little use out of it. The time I change this out is when it starts sliding off the hook when you're casting. But you gotta remember that when you're casting this bait out, you do not wanna whip it really hard because then it'll slide down the hook anyway. So it's kind of more of a lob. That's why you want the long rod so you can get it out there far. You don't have to really whip it, just kind of throw it out there and bring it in. This isn't a technique I would use for dirty water. If we were in dirty, dingy water, we're not in clear water. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. That is a good one. Come on, baby. Right off that point. Yeah, he's not wanting to come up yet. Come on. He clobbered it. Right in the middle of my speech. Can you believe that? Play that fish out a little bit. Play that fish. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a good fish, folks. He just clubbed it. Come on in here. Come on in here. Let me touch you. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness, a Roosevelt Lake giant bass. Look at that, folks. Yes. Oh man, I got something to show you. This is why I like throwing this bait. Well, let me get the hook out. Let me get the hook out real quick. There we go. There we go. I like that little tool. But let me get my little pliers out here. I can't quite get to it, but I want to show you something. This fish is eating shad. There they are, eating shad. Look at that. Eating shad. So, beautiful. That's well over 3 pounds, folks. That's a beautiful fish right there. We gotta let her go. Let her go. One thing I love about the female bass, after they spawn and they take their little, what we call their little siesta. After they spawn and they move out, they come right back up and feed, and they feed with vengeance. And that thing just smoked it, I think I was saying something to the effect that I will not throw this technique in dirty water. There's other techniques you can throw. So you make sure you're on a clear water, in a clear water area or reservoir or wherever you're fishing it, and use that technique. It's a lot of fun. I have my Rico there. What did I do with my, oh, here it is. That's great. All right. Now that bait's pretty well tore up. 4th fish. Time for a new one. But you can see the power of this bait for sure. Let's tie another one on and get back to fishing. This is a great area. Oh, boy, did you see him come out of the water for that? Oh, I got overzealous. I saw him come out of the water and I set the hook too soon. Oh, I almost had him. That is the problem right there. I saw the weight coming after the bait. I'm like, oh, that's gotta be a good fish. And I watched him smack it and I set the hook too soon. And see, that's what happens. They'll strip that bait down. Oh, That's where I was hoping the tip of the rod would give me a little forgiveness. It normally does, but not on that one. I was way too quick on it. Boy, you think with my age, I'd have been a little slower than that. There's one right there off that point. He ain't a big one. Came right off the cut, right off that point right there. I tried to go find some clearer water after we caught those fish. It's taking me about a half hour to catch my next fish, but. Okay, come on, you're done. Oh, catch and release. He was barely hooked in the lip. I had him. I was gonna swing him in and he popped right off. Yeah, that's the first fish after we left that little cut area we were in, but they'll come back. You know, something that's really important to remember about these baits now, when you take them out of the package, you wanna make sure that tail is pretty straight. If you get them out of the package and they're kinked, and let me see if I can show you one. Okay, when you get them out of the package and it comes kinked like that, see how I'm holding the bait straight up and down and the tail's kinked? A lot of times those baits won't run right. You wanna make sure that it's straight. And a lot of guys will take them and boil them or something like that, but it kind of changes the plastic a little bit. But I mean, you can do that or just take one out of the package that's straight. But get a straight one and make sure it's not kinked to the side or all bent up like that, because it won't run right. It'll turn on you, especially you want it to run what we call true when you're reeling it as fast as we're reeling it. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, one thing that is really helping me a lot to be able to burn this bait across the top of the water and still keep it under the water without it jumping out so much is to put a little nail weight in. And what I've done, that's a little tungsten nail weight. You can pick those up at Bass Pro Shops. And all I'm doing is right where the head of the bait is, and you can see where the head of the bait is, I'm sticking it right under the chin, and it's gonna go straight back, and you want it straight. And that way it'll hold right there. There, we have the bait, we have the actual weight that's in the bait there. You can't tell it's there. I'll put the hook in, but that'll allow it to not only cast farther, okay, but it'll allow you to burn it a lot faster across the surface of the water. Remember, if the fish gets a good look at it, sometimes they won't bite it, but if you're burning it, a lot of times they'll grab it, keep it from coming out of the water. I don't like to use hooks that have big gobs of weight on them. I want my bait to look as natural as possible. For that to happen, I use the nail weight. That's my tip of the week. You would not believe the fish that are eating in there. They were busting all over in there, and I couldn't get them to eat that dipper because there was so many shad. It was hard for them to separate the two. Got him. I got that one. Yeah. Spinnerbait bass. Whew. Come on, buddy. Come on. Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Look at that, folks. Come here. That right there is an awesome catch, and I'm gonna tell you why. We just went through there and there's a dark spot. Look at the size of that fish. He's gorging on shad. Okay, here's the deal. We came down this little pocket, the wind's blowing, awesome, awesome deal. There's a black patch, it almost looks like a cloud in the water, of a lot of shad boiling up. I threw my little swim bait in there, and the bass, I didn't think, they came up and looked at everything, and I just couldn't get them to bite that thing because there were so many shad in there, they couldn't differentiate that little tiny bait from the shad. The best thing you can do when that happens is pull up a spinnerbait. They know that spinnerbait when they see it. And I'll tell you what, they can't miss that big spinnerbait. And it actually separates everything and they zone in on it. And I went back through there and found that cloud of shad again, threw my spinnerbait in there and caught the fish. And that is fun. They blew up in front of me and everything. And I threw that little dipper out there and I could not get them to bite it. And So you go back in there with something flashy, a big spinnerbait or something like that, where they can really see it, and your odds just become a lot better. That's something you really need to look for. Wind-blown banks like this, when the wind starts kicking in, and you'll see these black clouds of shad. Get a good pair of polarized sunglasses, and it looks like there's an actual cloud of fish or a cloud over top of the spot, and you're like, wow, that's a big ball of something. And they keep moving and they keep moving, and you can catch some nice bass out of there. Every once in a while, you'll see them just blow up on those fish, on those shad. Oh, there's one. Oh, a good one. Oh, yeah. He came up and munched it right there. Oh, that's a good fish, folks. Oh. Come on. Oh, man, those are so much fun to catch. Come on. Just let me touch you. Oh, look at that, how big that fish is. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Oh, yeah, you were nice. Look at the tail on that fish. Holy, how are you swimming? How are you swimming? Oh, my goodness. Look at the tail. That tail's been broke. Look at that. Well, you live to see another day, buddy. Good luck. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what a day. Probably why I fought so hard. He's not having a problem swimming, swam right down. I'll tell you what, Roosevelt Lake post-spawn fishing's a lot of fun to do. You gotta make sure that you try these little swim baits. They're a lot of fun. Wear your arm out. At the end of the day, you'll feel it, but it's a lot of fun. Be sure to pick up the right rod though. The Taipan 710, spinning, medium action. And I'll tell you what, this makes the casting so much easier and so much farther so you can get those long casts. Because so many times if you use a shorter rod, you don't get a long enough cast. It's not that you won't catch fish on it. The deal is by the time the fish starts chasing your bait, you're already at the boat and you see them constantly come right at the boat on you. So you want to make those long casts, get way away, and you'll have a lot of fun doing this. Again, it's an Alberto knot I'm using between the 20-pound smackdown line that I'm using, the braid line, and the leader that I'm using. You can use a 10-pound leader or a 12-pound leader, either one works, okay? Fluorocarbon, you want it to sink. You'll have a lot of fun on this bait, and get out and catch some fish. When you see them shad a-boiling, be ready, man, you're gonna have a good time. Thanks for joining us on the show. We'll see you next week. I'm Johnny Johnson. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.